Everybody, John Pojeta here with PT. Welcome back to PT Ask Dan with Dan Hudak. How are we, Dan?
Doing great. Good
Excellent.
morning.
Excellent. So I want to talk about the beauty blender. So if you don't know what the beauty blender is, really short story. Woman that started out in California applying makeup in a salon. She was doing it for some people that were acting. And she was applying it with a foam piece that had squared off or rectangular off edges. So it had sharp edges to it. What she did was she tweaked that and rounded out the edges. And today there's something on the market called a beauty blender for applying makeup. She has a whole makeup line behind it now, et cetera. So she took something, made some core changes to it, but really tweaked it in the sense of just adjusting the design in essence. And I think sometimes when it comes to sales, we look for big, massive change. And we don't always look at, hey, some of those small, subtle adjustments can really have a big impact for us. So talk a little bit about some of those types of changes and the impact that you see for salespeople.
Yeah, so sales are usually won or lost by the little things we do, not necessarily big things. And it does have an impact. And let me give you an example. Last year's Kentucky Derby winner, Medina Spirit, won $1.86 million. The second place horse, which only lost by a quarter of a length of a horse, walked away with $600,000. So here's the first question. Did the first place horse run the race a lot better or just a little better than the second place horse? And the answer, of course, is just a little better. And the take-home pay was 3 times as much. So let me give you an example. You're talking to a customer and they say, hey, you ought to talk to Josephine Schmosephine over at ABC Company. That's called a warm call. 5% chance of success. If I stick with it just a little bit and say, hey, would you call Josephine up first and see if she's willing to take my call? If they do that and she's willing to take my call, that just went from a 5% close rate to a 50% close rate. And then if I say, hey, would you mind taking us to lunch? That just went from a 5% to a 50% to a 90% close rate. All because I stuck with it just a little bit of time and asked another question. We could lose a sale and not even realize it when we shake hands with somebody. Do you know that? We could also lose a sale when they give us a wishy-washy word and we don't question them on that. And we could also lose a sale by not clearly stating what a yes means in our upfront contract. Those are just some examples of little things that can make a huge difference.
Yeah, one of the themes that keeps coming up that you keep bringing back is the listening side of things. So you just mentioned something that's a little wishy-washy. And then also that attention to detail. Those little things can have big impact, pro or con, in terms of closing the deal.
Yep.
Enough said. See everybody tomorrow. Thanks so much, Dan.
Take care.